Hello everybody, it's Lazel here with another video, and I have finally gathered enough fragments for the Excalibur artifact, which I can upgrade now to the 4th star. And today I want to take the time to talk about this artifact because there are a lot of discussions about this artifact, if it's worth to invest into this artifact or not. And I want to take the time and give my opinion about it as a free-to-play player and why I think that this is a good artifact. So first of all, we will go for the refine, and I think here we already see some very important things. Of course, the 2nd star and the 4th star give you the attack increase on your frontline units, and we all know that our frontline units like cavalry and infantry are actually just there to absorb as much damage from the enemy backline as possible. But what I want you to rethink is that it's not always about just attacking. I have personally experienced for myself in the last few events like Savage Lands or Realm Invasion, it also happens pretty often that you are under attack, and if you have a lot of infantry or cavalry, depending on what frontline you focus on, the opponent will have a lot of work to do to reduce this front line, and then it can also be very nice to have some attack power in your front line. I don't want to say that it is a very good stat, but I want to say that we need to rethink the attack power of frontline units, especially when it comes to cavalry, because compared to infantry they have a higher attack power, and due to the dodge ability from the Mystic College and due to infantry with the toughness skill to take less damage from all units, they can be pretty tanky and they can survive pretty long depending on how good your technology is. And of course they don't have that high attack power as, for example, mages, archers, or even angels, but it is not bad to have a good attack power in your front line, because when you have a very good technology and your front line survives just very long, it is good to have some attack power in it. So I want to say that these stars, they aren't bad, they are not good, but they are pretty okay. So, and if we look back into the refine window, you can see the upgrades, how much it brings to upgrade it to the 4th star. And the 3rd star on the Excalibur is very interesting because the army size limit is something that a lot of players are working on very hard, because the higher your army size, the more troops you can send and the better you can perform in a lot of different things. It is not just always about attacking a castle, it is also about how you can perform in events. Just for me, as an example, since a few weeks I'm working very hard on my performance in the Fire Trial, and it is very important to have a big army when you come to these events to perform there very good, to get these very good rewards to increase your technology even further. So the 3rd star on the Excalibur artifact is something that I think is a very important thing, and players that play this game on a budget should definitely focus on the Excalibur. And now I want to talk about why. Because the basic stat of the Excalibur is your attack boost, and this definitely needs to be taken into consideration, because attack boost means that every unit that you have gets this attack boost, and it doesn't matter if you're attacking, if you're defending, you always have this boost. So especially from the basic stat and from the 3rd star, you get such an incredible boost in your overall technology and in your overall performance that will help you a lot to perform way better in events. Of course, when we look at the 5th star, when we come to March speed, I think it's time to refine it so we can see how many fragments we need to get to the 5th star for the March speed increase by 22%. So I will just refine this artifact. Let's go. Nice, this is an awesome increase for my castle. And as you can see, you need 460 fragments to the next star, which is a lot. this will take several years if you just go and gather the fragments from the monster swarm every week. But we will get back to the monster swarm later. So, and now we are back to the point where people are thinking, yeah, is it worth to invest into this artifact? When you're playing War and Order on a budget, I think that it is worth to invest into this artifact with artifact XP stones, because it increases the base stat of the Excalibur, and I want to say that the attack boost is probably one of the best stats that you can find on artifacts. There is no other artifact that increases your attack boost as basic stat. Of course, there are artifacts, for example, like this hammer that on the 3rd star increases your attack boost. And if you refine it to higher stages, of course, this stat will also be increased. But it is not the basic stat. It is always just one of these abilities on a higher star level. And only the Excalibur has the attack boost as a basic stat. So I think that the Excalibur is a very, very good artifact if you are playing War and Order on a budget. And I personally am gathering a lot of fragments for other artifacts now. I have just decided to work on this hammer artifact. I cannot speak its name, so sorry for that. But I have decided to invest a few soul stones into this hammer because I think in the long term it will really help me with my performance in events and in fights and stuff like that. But until then, I think it really pays off to invest your artifact EXP stones if you can reach a next level into the Excalibur. Because when we now come to the monster swarm, the Excalibur artifact is the only legendary or orange artifact that you can get without any conjurings. You get from these stages, you get 6 fragments per week. That is the current state. But there's no other orange or legendary artifact where you get a certain amount every week, where you can calculate with. So I think that investing your artifact EXP into the Excalibur will definitely pay off, because the attack boost is something that applies for every unit that you have. So the Excalibur artifact is a very universal artifact. If you invest into this artifact, you're not doing anything wrong, in my opinion. Because if you then decide to say, okay, I want to focus on cavalry as a frontline, I want to focus on infantry as a frontline, it doesn't matter, because you have both in it. Of course, on different levels when it comes to the percentages, but overall it is a good investment for it, because attack boost applies for every unit, and that also means angels, and it is very hard to find artifacts that increase your angel attack. I think the only artifacts that increase your angel attack is the Holy Robe on the 6th star. We need to rethink that, because it would take a lot of money, or it would take years to get to the 6th star. And there's the only thing where you can get angel attack. And in the Mystic Lamp, I would have to fuse it, and I won't do it now. At a certain point, the Mystic Lamp, I also think on the 5th star, the Magic Lamp increases your angel attack. And this will also take a very long time until you get there. Of course, there are other artifacts, for example, the Gusli artifact on the 2nd star. Yeah, I'm very sorry about the fact that I don't fuse these artifacts. I wait until I've completely conjured them to save some fragments. But there are other artifacts too that give you the attack boost. But it will also take a lot of time and a lot of investment to get to these stages. And you don't know, do I want to focus on this artifact? Do I want to invest now? And so it is a very good decision to invest into your Excalibur artifact, because it is a basic stat. It increases your attack for every unit, and you also have this army size limit. I think that is very good, and at some point, we don't know what will happen in the future, if it will be easier to get these fragments. And march speed, honestly, is also a nice thing, especially when you are playing War and Order on a budget and you have this very strong artifact. you can save a few gems when you're out there fighting in Void or in other events when you have a march speed increased by 22%. I know it's not much, but it would add up. And the 6-star with the army damage is also something that is actually pretty nice. And every time you refine your Excalibur, you will always increase the army size limit. And at some point, this will probably end in like, for example, 9.5k additional units. And that is also something that players on a budget really struggle to work on, because it is not easy to increase your army size limit. Overall, I personally think that it is worth to invest into your Excalibur artifact. What I want to say about that, I think, and by that I mean the artifact EXP stones. Or what I wouldn't do is invest your soul stones here, the 91 or 127. Okay, I have to admit that today I bought these 4 fragments to finish the Excalibur for the next star. I was a bit greedy there and wanted to have it now to make this video also. But my future soul stones, I will definitely invest into other artifacts that I will be working on, because you also should think about how early do I want to reach a new power level with my artifacts. And for that, I have decided that, or I know for myself that I play War and Order on a budget. I don't buy those artifact chests and stuff like that and all of those fragments. And so I needed to decide and accept that I won't have 5 legendary artifacts on 6-star while I play this game, because it would be way too expensive and I couldn't reach it. So I need to find a very good balance and combination with blue, purple and orange artifacts, and I think that the Excalibur artifact is something that should definitely have one spot in your artifacts, because the attack boost and the army size limit is something that is a very big pro for this artifact. The attack for cavalry and infantry, it is a nice addition. It is not the best for sure, but it is still nice, because you shouldn't just think about attacking somebody. You will also often get hit in certain events, and when you have a frontline of like more than 1 million infantry and they survive pretty long and they have, for example, this 14% more infantry attack, that is also pretty nice. So of course it is always nicer to have like mage attack or archer attack or even angel attack, but what I want to say is that infantry attack or cavalry attack isn't a bad stat. So if you're willing to invest into the game and spend some money in it, I would say that there are definitely better combinations when you are building up your array with your artifacts. I have seen a lot of scout reports from players that spend a lot of money into this game, and they have full orange artifacts, and none of these artifacts is the Excalibur. And if you're willing to invest, then the Excalibur artifact is not a good artifact for you. That's for sure, because there are way better combinations. But if you're playing War and Order on a budget, I definitely have to say that I think that the Excalibur has a reasonable spot in your array and should definitely be in there, and you should invest, or it is always good to invest some of the artifact EXP stones to get this additional attack boost for your overall army. I personally would not invest soul stones into it, because with your soul stones you should work on other important artifacts. And yeah, it is always nice to get these 6 Excalibur fragments from the monster swarm every week, and it is definitely, in my opinion, a good artifact because of these several reasons. The army damage on the 6-star is also something that will give your overall army a huge boost when you are using this artifact. It would buff up your infantry, for example, your angels. And remember that it is also, we are also talking about angels, and you know how hard it is to find angel attack when it comes to your technology. So, and also your backline like mages or archers. I have been talking about infantry. angels and mages because this is my setup, but this will also work for whatever combination you are using. And with cavalry and infantry attack on it, it is, in my opinion, a very, very good overall artifact that players on a budget should use, should invest in, and definitely it has a very reasonable spot in your array and you should invest into it. So this is my artifact check for the Excalibur artifact. Let me know how you think about this artifact in the comments down below. What are also additional artifacts that you are working on when you're playing this game on a budget, or even if you're willing to invest, and why you think those artifacts are strong. I'm really interested in your opinions. And yeah, I would say see you in the next video. Goodbye, guys.